Hump Day, that's right. It's Wednesday, and we're on to the Hump Day edition here of Winning Bets. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, kicking off another morning where we get to sit back, enjoy our sports, and enjoy our sports betting as well. So do that. Grab your coffee, grab your breakfast. Let's settle on in. Let's, of course, make sure we, of course, go ahead and recap yesterday, and then we've got the conclusion of match day number 6 in the Champions League, where at the end of today, we'll know who are the 16 teams that'll be in the knockout phases for this year's Champions League competition. Throwing up that recap from yesterday, we went 1-3 yesterday. It wasn't all doom and gloom. I thought we were kind of, on point with some of the games. I mean, we hit 1-1, correct score there in PSV Arsenal. We also got 2-0, correct score there in Napoli Braga. But unfortunately, some of our plays, did get tripped up on. PSV Arsenal, we were on the under 1.5 in the first half, just coasted. A couple early chances there by PSV. One was within the 6-yard box that Gabriel just got literally like just enough of his shin guard on it to go ahead and deflect that thing up over the crossbar. I was watching that. It's one of those where if you see the guy take the shot from the 6-yard box, you're like, how the hell did that go like way up over? And then you see the replay and you see it go off Gabriel's shin. So you can understand that one, and you're certainly thankful. But yeah, give PSV credit. They gave us a hell of a scare. I thought they were all over Arsenal that first 20, 25 minutes. Then Arsenal, kind of got it going a little bit right there. And then ultimately Arsenal ends up winning the first half 1-0 through Nketiah. Just a nice shot there by Nketiah. So a late sweat. But even with the late sweat, we were easily tucked in under 1.5. Couldn't cash the parlay, though, because we couldn't get 2 goals in Copenhagen and Galatasaray. And that one, sitting back, 16 hours later or whatever it is, still a little bit of a head scratcher that there weren't 2 goals in that game, just knowing what was on the line, how everybody had to absolutely go for it. Just a complete shocker. And I know that game seemed to look like it took a lot of people's money. I saw both teams scoring over 2.5, being floated out there from a lot of people as a pretty popular play. So definitely a big shocker that game finished 1-0. We were also tripped up on our double chance parlay. Inter, they got the job done 0-0 up against Real Sociedad there at home. But then in Salzburg, couldn't quite get it done against Benfica. Benfica 3-1. Clawed back in it. Benfica was up 2-0. Salzburg pulls one back. It's 2-1. But ultimately, they couldn't quite close the gap there. We actually did get a leveler that was 2-2. It was disallowed. And then Benfica, just through Salzburg, just pushing, right? They've got to push. That's what you thought you were going to get in Copenhagen and Galatasaray was a late goal through the pushing. It did not happen in that game. But due to Salzburg's pushing for an equalizer, Benfica was able to tack on a third goal. So we don't cover the double chance there. And then I told you the under 2.5s would have obviously liked to hit both of those suckers at plus money, but I felt really good that we were going to hit one of the two. Missed out on Union Berlin, Real Madrid. What would it be if we didn't get that late goal just before halftime? Berlin gets one at the stroke of halftime to make it 1-0. Maybe it's a little different, but at the end there were 5 goals, so maybe we weren't, wasn't going to be a little different. And that one was going to go over. But Napoli Braga, that was the one we mentioned there a little while ago. Hit the 2-0 correct score prediction, and obviously that stays under 2.5. Napoli, if you didn't see it, I was almost going to have to send out one of those tweets of like, we got screwed. Did you see Napoli's first goal? It was scored via an own goal, and like how the cross gets whipped into this Braga player, and it kind of like gets caught up in his feet and then kind of like loops up over and falls into the back of the net. I've seen the replay a few times, and the angle in which that ball is able to get in his body and up over and in the net, it's a little shocking. So thankfully, though, that would have been the kiss of death, right? You're on an under. There's some kiss of death. You've got the penalty kick, and you've got the own goal. Those are kiss of death when you're on an under. Thankfully, we were able to absorb the kiss of death in that one and deliver our only cash of the day at plus 140. So lose 3 plays, pick up a plus 140. That's how you're down 1.6 units on the day. And unfortunately, that does now drop us a little bit under. We did make some arbitrage money later on the day. After I sent out this tweet, we were able to scoop up $5, $6, I think it was, in change. So we've got that going forward the rest of this week. Let's see what's going on in the comment section, and then we'll roll on into some action today. Champions League, match day number 6. Morning, Corey. Napoli does what it always, yeah, that's what we talked about it, 2-0. It felt like it was going to be just a very workman-like. They weren't going to run it up because once they got up a comfortable goals, they're going to want to protect that thing to get in the last 16, and you knew they were going to, be a little bit defensive-minded. I didn't watch that game. Obviously, I'm watching Bayern Munich taking on Manchester United, but having not watched it, it played out, I would say, basically, how I thought it was. Yeah, get the 2 goals and back off. That's why I thought the under 2.5 would hit. I thought they would win the game 2-0. I thought they would win the game 2-0. Speaking of United, they took on Bayern Munich. Another dreadful performance by United. I mean, I still don't know how you're at home. Bayern's world class. I mean, and Bayern didn't mess around with their lineup too. They threw out the same lineup that lost 5-1 to Frankfurt. So clearly Thomas Tuchel was annoyed and pissed off that they lost in that manner 5-1 against Frankfurt, and gave those same players a chance to redeem themselves, and they did redeem themselves. You just saw the difference in quality between those guys. But United, though, at home, you only get 1 shot on target. Like, 1 shot on target, that's all you can muster. I thought Ten Hag didn't throw enough forward, if I'm being honest. What are you holding back for? What are we holding back for? Just throw it all forward. I know he had some injury concerns. There was no Rashford, no Martial due to illnesses, but shit, man. With 60 to go, like, get McTominay off. Let's get some guys on there. Just not good. Just not good. They're levels off all the big teams, and now they have to go to Anfield, where your center back partnership's going to be Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans and Varane. Obviously, Varane is... I mean, he's class, but Johnny Evans is going to be next to him. You're not going to get Luke Shaw. He came off at halftime due to an injury. You're going to get McTominay, and you saw it again yesterday. And again, Bayern's got worldly players, but who did McTominay go on this impressive run against? Right, he had the late goals against Brentford when they got the 2 goals in extra time. He got the goals, against Sheffield. I think he got the couple goals against Chelsea. But anybody that's got talent and class players, McTominay just gets worked around. I'm expecting Liverpool just to stick it to United, quite frankly. Just to stick it to them. And they're going to love it. And if you look at Liverpool, they're on the road Thursday night, but they've already got first place sewn up in the Europa League. So that means they get a bye in the knockout phases. They don't have to. They get a bye, because what happens is the second place teams play the teams that fall down from Champions League. So if you're in first place in the Europa League, you get a bye. Liverpool's got a bye. They're going to play anybody worth a shit tomorrow, and they're going to whip United's ass on Sunday. I hate to say it, but I'll bet it accordingly. Morning, Taylor. Morning, my man. Hope you're doing well, dude. Welcome on in. Too bad we lost on the Booker's assist. Oh, you played the play I gave Brian? God damn it. I did. I was curious. When Brian didn't hit me up like he hit me up last week, it was like, hey, great for the great cash. I didn't have to be like, all right, how did we lose a lot? And of course, the first 2 legs go over, and Booker, as you're saying here, missed on the hook. We had under 6.5 assists. He got 7. Obviously, I don't watch it, but tough. We were right there. Right there. What's up, Brian? Hate to say it, but I bumped Booker up to 7. Yeah, then Brian did tell me that. Did you bump up the other plays, Brian, or were just feeling Booker only? Was Booker the only one you bumped up a number? Because that's a great feel if he's the only one you bumped up. That's a great feel. Nurkic easily went over. It was 13.5. He got 17. And Curry was under 29.5, and he got 24. So great read on the other 2 players. I think it was a great read on Booker. Just missed on the hook. So, not the first time that's happened. Not going to be the last time. Morning, Bill. Nice move on. Yeah, it was a nice move. That's a nice move. Like I said, I'm wondering if he did it with all of them, or did he just kind of do it with Booker? Because that's a great just feel in your gut. And sometimes what you got to do with your gut. Sometimes those can be the greatest cashes, are the ones you're just feeling down in the belly, right? You're feeling it in the belly. I'm going to go ahead and throw these bets up. Make sure you catch that last line, though. Half unit on each. That probably does speak to my confidence level, to be quite honest, because you guys know plus money bets. A, I don't shy away from them, and B, I don't shy away from putting a whole unit on it. But as I talked about on yesterday's show, this day in the Champions League is more uncertainty, because a lot more is already sewn up. You really just have Group F, if I'm recalling the letter correctly, whatever the group is, at Newcastle, Dortmund, PSG, and AC Milan, and everything else is, generally speaking, sewed up. There's some first places on the line between Atletico and Lazio, but most in part, this day involves a bunch of matches that just don't have any bearing on really anything. So, yeah, I did dial it back to a half unit, but the gambler in me, like Corey said, right, we're all degenerates. We're here to, have some action, and, it makes the watch a little bit more of that entertaining and sweaty. I'm here for it. So, yeah. So let's run through the bets first. Red Star on the double chance. Of course, I tell you guys I listen to Guardiola's press conference. He's one of the managers I listen to. You're getting heavy squad rotation. We already know Holland's going to be out. They're starting to question whether or not he's going to be ready for Saudi Arabia. So he's definitely out for this, possibly out for Crystal Palace. Again, it's whether or not he can come back in the Club World Cup for Saudi Arabia. But not only him. You heard Guardiola say he's finally going to give Nunez a chance. He talked about playing Calvin Phillips, which is a player that we know he gets asked a lot because he's an England international. Obviously, he plays for an England club. So he gets asked about all the time. And again, I always tell you guys, he politely just says, like, he's not good enough. Well, give me the other team when we're talking about a player coming in that's not good enough. So you'll get like Nunez, you'll get Calvin Phillips, you're going to get Oscar Bob. Probably wouldn't even expect Alvarez. You're going to get Rico Lewis, which I like Rico Lewis, but you'll get him. Back line, I mean, there's injuries there. I bet they call up some academy players, some guys that you're going to look at the team sheet and be like, who the are these guys? I think that's what you're going to get because that's what Guardiola's talked about, a meaningless game. And then obviously they've got to look ahead to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, or maybe it's at the Etihad. But either way, focus is obviously on the league at this point, not this meaningless game in Serbia. So I like double chance. So I'll take a chance on Red Star on the double chance at plus 185. And then I'll do a both teams are scoring over 2.5. Remember, Red Star scored against Man City. Yeah, it was late in the first half and it was on a counter and they only had 2 shots on goal total. But they should be up for this one here at the home crowd. Serbia's always got one of those atmospheres that are really rocking across Europe's. So I think their home crowd can lift them, and I think there will be 3 goals in that game, so I'll do that one, of course, for a half unit. And then I'm just going right back to, I think it's Group F, whatever the group letter is. Dortmund has cashed under 2.5 in 4 of their 5 games, and so has AC Milan. They've also cashed the under 2.5 in 4 of their 5 games. Obviously, you can see my score predictions on there. If I'm right on my score predictions, that would be Newcastle would go ahead and vault past PSG. They would be level on points. But, of course, Newcastle owns the head-to-head advantage because there was a draw and a win for Newcastle in the respective head-to-head against PSG. So, yeah, hopefully those can come through. Plus 190 for an under. I love it. And then the under 135 there for Newcastle AC Milan. A little scary, I hear you, taking an under in a Newcastle match when we're talking at St. James's Park. But we already saw those one play out to 0-0 match day number 1. We were on that under that day. And, of course, there were chances, but nothing that made me, think that we were ever going to be in any sweat of any kind. So I'll run that one back. Newcastle still has a lot of the same injury concerns that they've got. They'll be up for this one. The crowd always does it to them at St. James's Park, but then you got to give respect to how tough also Milan is. And then Milan also has something to play for in their own right. All 4 teams. This is the one group that is really fascinating with all 4 teams, having something to play for the chance to advance to the knockout stages. So, 2 unders, an over, and a both teams to score. And give me the Red Star on the double chance. I looked at their domestic table in terms of they're sitting on first place. They're playing a team that's towards the bottom half of the table of the weekend. I bet they go strong. I bet they go relatively strong today and, rely on the Serbian crowd to kind of push them over. So I'll go 2-2 for Red Star, Man City. Leipzig, Young Boys, it's a meaningless game. I'll say 3-1. It'll really come down to what the lineup looks like for Leipzig and how serious that manager wants to take that one. Antwerp, Barcelona. Technically, Barcelona could lose first place, but the teams behind them would have to overcome a 7-goal difference right now, and that's just not going to happen. Remember, we got a cash there on match day number 1 where we backed Barcelona's team total. They got the 5-0 victory. Antwerp was absolutely terrible. So even though Barcelona's going to rotate, they're not going to do shit against them. They're awful. And then Atletico Lazio, it's going to be a classic under game. Atletico here, just get the point. Go ahead and get first place. Lazio's going to need to get the win, but they've been dreadful. Well, they've just kind of been dreadful domestic, and they've been kind of a little dreadful in this tournament. So Celtic Feyenoord, meaningless game. Who the F knows? Give me 1-1. And then we start taking a little bit serious there in Dortmund PSG because, again, we got a half-unit stake on the under 2.5. I think that one will play out to a 1-1 affair. Porto and Shakhtar. You got to give credit Porto when how they went into Ukraine on match day number 1 and picked up a 3-1 victory. All the XG numbers backed it up. It wasn't just a fluky 3-1 win for them. So I think they'll take care of business here at home. Give me the 2-0 victory. And that's a game that matters. Talk about only being Group F. That one matters. Both those teams have 9 points. So if it's a draw, it'll go to Porto because obviously they'll have the head-to-head advantage. if Shakhtar gets the win, then obviously they'll be joining Barcelona in the knockout stages. But Porto was too strong on the road to then not be able to at least get a draw here at home. So I like Porto 2-0. Then Newcastle Milan tucked me in with a nice little under. The St. James's crowd is going to go ahead and lift them. Let's go Newcastle. I think you guys can get it. So that's how we'll go ahead and roll there, boys. Congratulations to everybody who took the Mavs yesterday. Obviously we lost the soccer parlay. I didn't get in the basketball parlay, to be quite honest. It was to be quite honest, it was a busy day because it was my birthday yesterday. So I was, just doing that, and the family took me out for dinner, and my father-in-law and his wife came out, so dinner kind of went a little long, and then we came home, cake and blah. So I kind of forgot the start time, so I didn't get in the Mavs. Well, they won the first quarter big, and then they won the full game. So my apologies on that. Just a little busy, so didn't quite get to that. So we'll pick that up a little bit later on. Mavs first quarter for the cash. Yes, there is. And there you are with the comment. There you go. Yeah, easy. What was it? 34, which is bang on because that's what the Lakers average on the road in the first quarter. They allow 34 points, and the Mavs hit that. And what the Lakers get 26-ish, I think it was, if I saw the box score right. It looked like it got a little tight there in the fourth quarter. Lakers kind of made it a game with a good third quarter, but then the Mavs, held out with a few points. Looked like AD and LeBron went over, so it looked like maybe fading those guys wasn't quite too success. But I think the strong play is, there's just always the thing with player props. It's like sometimes you don't know how the game's going to go, but how the game's going to go within the game. Or sometimes, fading AD and LeBron doesn't work, but everybody in the chat was on the Mavs. You know what I mean? Everybody was a first quarter fade, full game fade, whatever the hell it was. Like, everybody was fading the Lakers yesterday. That was obviously ended up being the right play. And then you got that one at plus money, so good one right there. You left everything to say. So Booker's the only one you moved. God damn it, Brian. That's the feel we need on this Wednesday, man. I need those feels. I need your gut. I need your vibes. What are you feeling, Brian? Which one of those under 2.5s are you bumping up to 3.5, man? What are you feeling, Brian? What, you don't want to sweat a 2.5. You're bumping one of them up. You believe Newcastle has a lot. Still has, but no more than what they've had for, what feels like 2 months now. I mean, they've had these injuries for a month, and obviously Tonali, including the suspension. So while they have a lot of injuries, it's not going to affect them today because the squad they were going to roll out today is the squad they've been rolling out for the better part of a month. They've had these long-term injuries. Eddie Howe says nobody's coming back before the new year, so a lot of injuries. But this is the team that's been shitty away from St. James's Park and really good at St. James's Park. So this has been the squad. Appreciate it, Taylor. Oh, it's your birthday today. Shit, dog. Happy birthday, Taylor. Happy birthday. I'm 41, man. I'm starting to come down the hill. I don't know where you're at, but for a year, I was on the peak. I had a great view of the world, but now, come yesterday, I started sliding down the mountain. 41. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it, Brett. Brian, my man. The gent. Wagon Wednesday. Let's go. What's up, my guy? Bills got to win out. I saw that they could lose to the Cowboys and still be okay. Obviously, then you really need to factor in getting help from other matchups. But I did see there were they could lose to the Cowboys, and the Dolphins still have the Cowboys to go too, and obviously the Bills still have the Dolphins. There's even a scenario where they can win the AFC East. Isn't that scary? I mean, coming off Eagles loss after the Broncos loss, everybody was down on the Bills, and rightfully so. I mean, they at the time they were a team that were going to lose the close games. Well, they pulled out a close game in Arrowhead. Finally, they were able to come out on the right side of that. I obviously haven't given up. I mean, it's my favorite team of all teams is the Buffalo Bills. So I'm believing, and I'm still holding out for a division, an AFC East crown, man. I think we can do it. How the hell did the Dolphins pick up Melvin Ingram? Did you guys see that transaction? I saw that transaction yesterday, and I said, hey, when the hell did he get cut by the Chargers? And how the hell is that guy sitting there on a free agent available? And the Dolphins are able to scoop him up. That's a good move by them. But I still would like the Dolphins be needing to rest players in Week 18. But either way, I still like it. Lakers are 3-point favorites against the Spurs, who've lost 17 in a row. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Is that on the back end of a back-to-back? Because how they rest LeBron and AD on the back end. Oof. Spurs at home. You know how they do. And LeBron played a fair number of minutes. I think people are also a little surprised by that. I don't know if I'd want to be on the Lakers tonight. Do the Pistons play? And the Pistons play the 76ers. So it's a Lakers 76ers parlay for you, Corey. I know you already got that shit placed in. you're already in on it. And you probably got pretty damn good odds if they're only a 3-point favorite. So you probably got decently good odds on that parlay, where the Lakers only being 3-point favorites. I mean, I would take the Spurs in the first quarter. What is that? Now I got to look that up. I got to look that up. Hold on. I actually got to look that up. I'm just curious. You know, one of those like, all right, now I'm curious. Maybe I'll cook up a parlay for Taylor. Spread. It's half. It's basically a coin flip. All right, now I'm curious what all the numbers look like. Who else do we have that off top of the head? Jazz are playing the Knicks, Nets, Suns, Bucks, Pacers. Oh, that probably smells like an over. That smells like an over. Spurs. Shit, I'm on NFL. Whoops. That was the wrong bookmark. Okay, here we go. That looks better. Now we're looking at NBA stuff. Lakers are still right there, man. 27th in the league. Where are the Spurs? Oh, Spurs are top 8. Eighth best. And when they're at home, they're really good at home. Who's going to take a chance on these Spurs? Let's see, what do they score in the first quarter? That was from a defensive perspective. Defensively standing. Where are they? Oh, they're nip and tuck with the Lakers. But they get the bump at home, as you would expect, where the Lakers get... Why is this thing doing that to me? And the Lakers, oh, wow. You could definitely take the Spurs at home on the number right there. Plus, get the plus half, minus 115. You get the Lakers on that back end of a back-to-back. You know what they do with some of their aging players on the back end of a back-to-back. What's the Spurs-Bucks total at? I bet that's got to be around like 260, if I had to guess. 255, 260, what is that? 258. I'd probably take the under. You got to have everything go right to hit an over at 258. And just off the top of my head, it smelled like an over, but that's a brutally high number. I'd kind of take the under. It'd definitely be one of those you hold your nose, but if you just get one quarter to kind of go your way, then you can kind of cruise. Because what's 259 divided by 4? Yeah, you need 65 points in every quarter. I know the Pacers don't play deep. I would be on that under 258.5, and maybe you hold your nose a little bit, but I'm okay with that. That's the first under I've been on in my life. You just need it's got to be 4 perfect quarters, and if the game gets a little out of hand, you know how fourth quarters go way under because blowouts. That shit will reckon over. That would be crazy if we win the division. I believe it, man. Believe it. Let's go. Let's take care of business. Let's beat the Cowboys, who we're favored against, which I don't know if I fully understand that, how we're 2.5 points favored. But you know the home team gets 3 points for being at home. So basically, if that's a neutral field, Cowboys are basically favored if that was a Super Bowl or something. Jets are coming back. Clawing back. You got your AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Let's go, Jets. I know. I'm thinking about jumping on this, man, first quarter. I'm thinking, because that's what they do on the back end of a back-to-back to Gent. You're exactly right. I'm thinking about jumping on Lakers plus a half. Let's price shop it. Let's use Odds Trader. Let's price shop this. Hey. I hear you. I don't know why professional athletes can't play 2 days in a row, but yeah. And last night's game was on TNT, wasn't it? This is probably on like a non-TNT, like just on a channel. This smells like I would back the Spurs. Let's see. You can get it at best price. If you guys want to know the best price for the Spurs. If you've got Bet365, it is Bet365, but I don't have that book. So for me, Yeah, it'd be, they're all the kind of same. FanDuel, BetMGM, BetRivers, minus 112. Minus 112, Spurs plus a half. Spurs plus a half. You know those Lakers aren't going to want to lose to a team, though, that's lost 17 in a row. You know those guys are like, no, not on my watch, dog. That shit ain't happening to me. But first quarter, I'd play that trend. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add that. Pacers have been going under recently. Let's look at that. I'm thinking about taking the under in that, too, Dejent. Think about adding some NBA to the card. Let's see. Last head-to-head that is 247, so that's an easy under. The one before that was 250. That's an easy under. That one went way over. That's last season. So they've played twice this season. You've seen 2 unders. And to your point, Pacers, you got an under, and an over. So 4 straight unders. You got to go back to the 5th game to find an over. I kind of like the under 258. Let's price shop that too. Shit, let's add 2 NBA plays to the card. Let's back those Spurs and fade those dog shit Lakers in the first quarter like we know that they are, and especially when they're on the road, and especially when we get them on the back-to-back. And let's go ahead and see what this over-under's at. Odds Trader has the over at 252 in terms of their prediction. I like it. Let's just see. I'm here for it. 2 plays. Let's go, boys. We can get, 259 on DraftKings. Sign me up. I hate pushing, but I'd rather have the half a point. I would take the push when the other ones are, minus 110. I'd rather pay minus 112 and get the push. So, yeah, I'll pay a couple more cents and get the push. So, I'm going to do it. I'll head on over. Let me bet them right here on the show so I don't forget. And everybody knows that I would do it, boys. Let's do it. Shit. 4 half-unit plays in Champions League match day number 6. And let's parlay these things for Taylor's birthday. My man's got a birthday today. Let's do it. I'll put them up here. Going NBA. 259. That is a real number on DraftKings. Looking at it right now. Perfect. And then first quarter. Give me those Spurs plus a half. I'm taking them. Minus 112. That was the best price on BetRivers. I'll put a unit on each. And then we're going to kick off the free giveaway with Taylor's birthday party parlay. Under 259 Pacers Bucks. Spurs plus a half in the first quarter. I'll slap on. We've been doing 25s. I'll just slap on the $25 and see if that doesn't hit. So there we go. 2 NBA plays tonight. All right. Back to sweating the NBA tonight. Can't wait for Tyler to comment on the video talking shit, rightfully so, because I don't bet the NBA, and here I go. 258, they both got a score. 35, he scored. Yeah, that's you don't need much to hit it under when you got a total like that, man. You just don't need to hit that. That doesn't take that much. I'm on it. That's too much for me. Hard Rock is minus 110. Don't have that book. Actually, never even heard of Hard Rock, to be quite honest, Carlton. So, wonder what state is that in? Where are you at, man? Hard Rock. Never heard of that. Little birthday parlay. Let's go, Taylor. You're in, dog. I'll put it up here on the screen. We'll go Pacers versus Bucks under 259. And then we'll go Spurs first Q plus 0.5. You're missing a Micah jersey. I'm not sure what that means. Hit me up. If we made a bet, obviously I've bought people stuff. Hell, I got. If we made a bet and you gotta hit me up. I don't know what that means. Hey, I'm missing a Micah jersey. Not sure. Oh, and you're in Florida. Hard Rock in Florida. I didn't think gambling was legal in Florida. Interesting. Oh, is that one of you're on a tribe? You're on a tribe thing? All right, boys, that's what we're on. Bucks Pacers under 259. Spurs first quarter plus a half. I got them both over on DraftKings. Get them wherever the hell you want. Let's go, boys. There you go. Lock it in. 4 Champions League parlays. Half unit on each. Again. That probably does speak a little bit to the confidence. Probably does, But I'm going to take a stab there in that Red Star game with a couple and then give me a couple under 2.5s. Happy birthday, Taylor. Hope you have a fantastic day, my man. Hopefully you just have a fantastic day. Hopefully you have a little bit better day than I did. My kids did not behave as well as I would have hoped last night. And dinner was stressful with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, man, when you're out for dinner. And, yeah, But whatever. Still the birthday. It's still nice to go out. So go Cowboys. Don't like that. Oh, this week's game. Oh, yeah, we'll do it. I'll handshake you right now, Carlton. Handshake you right now for a jersey. All right, let's go. Cowboys, Bills. Let's do it. Let's go. Where's your hand, dog? Where are you at? All right, there you are. I saw you now. All right, Carlton, it's on. We got a jersey on the line. And Florida just passed the legislation. Good. All the other states need to follow suit. All right, so we got a jersey on the line this weekend. I'm probably not going to do a jersey. I'm with Corey. I'm not really a jersey guy. So when the Bills win, I'll have you purchase me something else. Probably can't roll like that. Yeah, all right, so your dinner will be uninterrupted. You're probably out with friends. You'll probably have a much better time than I did. Probably have a much better time than I did. All right, boys, lock it in. Throw these bets up on the screen one more time for everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday. Enjoy your hump day. Come on back for Thursday. It's a big day in Europa League and Europa Conference League. And then also Chargers, Raiders. What do you do with that? Chargers with the backup quarterback. Raiders not all that great of a team. What are we going to do with a 34-point total in prime time? Chargers, Raiders. Come on back for tomorrow. Have yourself a good one, boys.